It's gonna be okay, you hear me?
Don't you dare die on me now, Marcus shouted, his voice trembling as his hands pressed against the bleeding wound. Rain poured from the heavens like punishment. The woman's eyes fluttered, her uniform torn, badge stained in red. She tried to speak, her voice breaking. Why are you helping me? Marcus's jaw tightened. Because someone should have helped my brother too, and in that one sentence, the night changed forever. It was the kind of night the city tried to forget. Rain fell in sheets, drumming against rooftops and washing away yesterday's sins. Marcus Carter, a janitor and single father, had just finished his last shift. His back ached, his uniform smelled faintly of bleach, and his heart was heavy with the weight of bills he couldn't pay. He wasn't a hero. He wasn't a man of power, just a father trying to survive another day. But fate has a strange way of finding the people who least expected. As he turned down a deserted street, his headlights cut through the storm and caught something that froze his breath. A figure lying still in the rain. A glint of metal. A badge. He hit the brakes so hard the car skidded sideways. When he stepped out, the cold bit into his skin. But what he saw next made him forget everything else. A woman, a police officer, bleeding from a gunshot wound. Barely conscious. Hey, stay with me. Marcus dropped to his knees beside her. Her lips trembled. Her hand reached weakly for her gun. Her instinct still on duty. I'm not here to hurt you, he said, his voice low but firm. You're gonna be all right. I promise. Her breathing was shallow. Her name tag read Officer Reed. Marcus looked around empty streets, no sirens, no headlights. Just the rain and her blood pooling into the cracks of the pavement. He grabbed his phone. Dead battery. His stomach twisted. He had two choices. Wait for help that might never come, or become the help she needed. He ripped off his jacket, pressing it hard against her wound. She winced, gasping. Hold on, he said, voice shaking but steady. You got a kid? She blinked faintly. Yes, a son. Marcus swallowed hard. Then don't you dare die tonight. He needs you. With that, he lifted her into his arms. She was cold, limp, but alive. Every step to the car felt like a war between exhaustion, fear, and determination. The streets blurred as Marcus drove. Headlights slicing through the rain. Every red light became a dare. Every second a countdown. Stay with me, officer. He shouted. You're not going anywhere. Her voice cracked through the darkness. Why are you helping me? Marcus's knuckles tightened around the wheel. Because no one helped my brother when he was shot. They said help was coming. It never did. Her eyes opened for a brief moment. I'm sorry. Don't be. Just stay alive. When they finally reached the hospital, Marcus didn't wait for help. He carried her inside himself, soaked, shaking, covered in her blood. Officer, down. He yelled, his voice echoing through the emergency room. She needs help now. Doctors rushed in, nurses shouting orders, and within seconds, she disappeared behind swinging doors. Marcus stood there, drenched, heart pounding, hands trembling, then security surrounding him. Sir, we need you to stay where you are. Marcus froze. What? I just brought her in. Where did you find her? Were you involved in the shooting? He stared at them, disbelief in his eyes. I was just driving home. She was dying. You think I'd hurt her? But all they saw was a man covered in blood. All they heard was the echo of a system that had already decided who was guilty. Hours passed in a cold, gray interrogation room. Then the door opened. A familiar voice broke the tension. Let him go. Officer Reed stood there, pale but alive, bandages across her side. Her eyes locked on Marcus, full of gratitude and something else. Shame. She turned to the detectives. This man saved my life. Without him, I'd be dead. The room fell silent. The detectives exchanged looks, then stepped aside. Marcus exhaled for the first time in hours. A week later, Marcus sat outside his apartment, watching his daughter Zoe chase bubbles under the streetlight. He'd gone back to work, back to life. But something inside him had changed. That's when a black SUV pulled up. Officer Reed stepped out, dressed in plain clothes, this time. Mr. Carter, she said softly. Can we talk? He nodded, surprised. She handed him a letter, embossed with the police seal. I fought to make sure your name is cleared. Not just cleared, honored. The entire force knows what you did. Marcus opened the envelope. Inside was a commendation, a medal of valor, reserved for those who save a life under extraordinary circumstances. He stared at it, stunned. I'm no hero, Reed smiled gently. That's what every real hero says. They sat in silence for a while. Then she said, You know, I was responding to a call that night. My partner was supposed to be there, but he didn't show. Marcus looked up. You mean he left you? Her voice cracked. Yes, I thought I'd die alone. But instead, a man everyone overlooks saved me. He smiled faintly. Guess life likes to surprise us. Weeks later, the police department held a public ceremony. Marcus stood awkwardly in a borrowed suit, his daughter holding his hand, reporters, officers, and city officials gathered around. Officer Reed stood at the podium, her voice steady but full of emotion. On a night when no one came, she said, a man without a badge did what every one of us swore to do, protect life. She turned toward him. Marcus Carter, this city owes you a debt we can never repay. Applause filled the room. Zoe squeezed his hand and whispered, Daddy, you're a hero. He smiled down at her. No, baby. I just did what was right. The next morning, photos of Marcus carrying Officer Reed flooded the news. A janitor, a single father, had done the impossible. The police department, once hesitant, opened a new program in his honor, Project Carter, training officers in empathy and community partnership. For the first time, Marcus's name meant something beyond survival. And deep down, he realized his brother's death had finally found meaning too. Sometimes heroes aren't born in uniforms or titles. Sometimes they're men who work in silence, unnoticed until the moment the world needs them most. Marcus didn't save a cop that night. He saved faith in humanity, because true strength isn't loud. It's the kind that kneels beside a stranger in the rain and says, You're not dying tonight. Not on my watch. Call to action for viewers. Comment below. Would you have stopped that night? Tell us where you're watching from and share this story to remind others. Kindness isn't weakness. It's what keeps the world alive. Subscribe for more cinematic stories that restore faith in humanity, because even in a broken world, heroes still walk among us.